Jesus would definitely say if Donald Trump loses, end of days as free Americans is inevitable. This may seem like and sound like a bold and maybe to some a stupid statement. However, it's probably as true as anything I've said over the last 2 years of my discussions to you as individuals. Our country has reached a crossroads or a pinnacle where it can topple off the cliff into darkness and more self-centered, more selfish ways, or it could pivot and stop that pendulum from swinging towards this selfish, greedy, corrupt society that we've become and slowly drift on back into what Jesus said. Truth is the light that changes all things. And as much as the never-Trumpers and the people who hate Donald Trump want to deny, he does speak the truth. And the truth will set you free, and America needs to be free once again. It has become so bridled and saddled with rules and regulations that as a businessman you don't really know what to do. And as I've said in my previous statements, it's caused me to lose my business and the bank foreclose on my house and home. And that enough should make me angry and want to say something bad about America. But America gives us the opportunity. It's the very, very best hope for the world. It's just sad that over the last 60 years that momentum or that pendulum has been swinging towards selfism or the selfish way of justifying any means to achieve a self-centered, self-interest goal. This is what's happening with the fragmentation of America as all these little special interest me first groups begin yelling and screaming and screeching to get attention when they don't even know what's going on, that the world is collapsing around them. The civilization that we have been striving for the last few thousand years, where there is a common good and a common goal, and there's a set of rules that helps all of us interact within a framework of society, it is being destroyed by the far left, selfish, unconscious viewpoint, as well as the far right people who are trying to devour their own candidate. I just don't know what else I can say or anything I can do through my discussions to get you to realize that you are the key to America's success. It's you that needs to notify your neighbor, notify your friend, help young people understand that they have been brainwashed and conditioned by our current administration to believe crazy, foolish things. I saw a poll where the 16 to 25-year-olds really believe in socialism. These kids are really stupid. They don't even understand history. And as I've said over and over and over again, that those who don't remember history are doomed to repeat it, and we are doomed to repeat it. We are now becoming the Roman civilization of the 21st century. They were overrun from within. Their own selfish greed, their invasion of outside refugees and immigrants that they brought in to do their things overwhelmed their way of life, overwhelmed their philosophies, overwhelmed their belief system to the point where it disintegrated and it caused the decline of Western civilization. Well, we are in the decline of Western civilization part 2, but in a much bigger way, in a way that'll devastate the entire world going forward. As I said, end of days as a civilized world is nearing us, nearing our reality more than you realize. People want to deny that this influx of refugees and immigrants isn't watering down our system. You tell me that every day you read the paper, you don't read of young 5-year-old girls being raped by immigrants, or 93-year-old men beaten up by refugees, and how many kids are being just ruined by their lack of knowledge and lack of understanding of what's going on. The favorite program of all the young people is Walking Dead. Well, they are the Walking Dead. They're brain dead. They are zombies. They are lemmings. They are following the tune of a leader and of a liberal movement that has brainwashed them to the point that they aren't their own people anymore. I have been trying through my discussions and through my books to get the individual, especially the young individual, to reach down inside their own hearts and find their own truths. Don't let their minds become contaminated and polluted and clouded by following someone else's teaching. Discover your own self-truth. Create your own self-enlightenment. My book 1 was entitled Self-Enlightenment, and it took me 42 years to get it written, but the only way I knew how to do it was to follow my heart and to follow reality, and it brought me to the point where I finally finished it. But writing a book is one thing. When you're a lowly individual like myself, you're not a pundit, you're not a celebrity, you don't have access to the big brick house publishing companies, or you don't have your own TV program where you can espouse your own philosophy. And I'm not saying mine is better than anyone else. I'm saying mine just wants you to find your own self-truth and find your own self-enlightenment. And I chart in it how I found mine, and I was hoping that it would strike some chord or resonate some kind of thought in your mind, in your heart, that you would begin your own search and throw away all those things that have gotten you to this point. Because as I said over and over and over again in the books and in my talks, that what has happened to this point in time in our lives, and in your life in particular, has happened in the only way it could have, from your previous past decisions. Because life's pathway through reality is a choice. You choose to go right, you choose to go left. If you choose wrong, you might get run over. You might end up in that movie theater where the crazy guy shot up a bunch of people, or you might end up in a nightclub where some other radical terrorist shoots up the place. Because your choices are your destiny. I'm trying to get you to realize that every single choice you make is important. And choosing Donald Trump is probably the most important choice we as a civilization are facing. We see it all over Western Europe. Our forefathers left there coming to America to find a better way of life. Now that Western Europe is deteriorating and falling apart, where borders are no longer important and cultures are no longer important, as it is overrun by a religious cult that really doesn't teach love, it teaches hate. It teaches kill those people who disagree with me. I'm trying to get you to realize that if you slow down this momentum of hate, this momentum of evil, let that pendulum finally end and it starts swinging back, even if you can just slow it down. And that's the title of my book, Slow Down in Love. And that's what I'm trying to infer in it, that if you slow your own life down a little bit and you grasp the important aspects of being alive and being who you are and what you are, and really analyze that you should do no harm to others. Now, this is the reason why I opened with saying Jesus would say, vote for Donald Trump, because the truth is the only solution for our problem right now. And Jesus said over and over again, love the Creator, love thyself, love thy neighbor, with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Well, our minds have become so polluted that our hearts and our souls are ignored. And we need this balance between the physical and the spiritual world to re-enter into our hearts and begin to add some sort of common sense, as Donald Trump says, to our way of life. Now, I'm going to begin my series of discussions in a different route starting on my next one. I'm going to try and reinstitute my original talks, my TED Talks Truth and Reality series from 2 years ago. My very first one was Wake Up America. I beat Eric Bowling to the punch, but no one listened or watched or cared about, like I said, some common folk like myself. Now, I need your help. I need you to spread this word. I need you to get it out into the kids' worlds, into the millennium's world, and I need the old-timers like myself to champion this cause. So I beseech all of you watching this to help me spread this word, because it's an important word. It's an important moment in our history, and all of us need to participate in it. So until our next talk, Godspeed.